me your hand. Came you from old Bellario?
I did, my lord.
You are welcome. Yes, take your place. Are you acquainted with the difference that holds this present question in the court?
I am informed truly of the cause. Which is the merchant here and which the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock both stand forth.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of a strange nature is the suit you follow. Yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
Do you confess the bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful?
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the hearts of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. Oh. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follow this strict court of Venice, must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond.
Is he not able to discharge the money?
Yes, here I tender it for him in the court, yea, thrice that sum. If that will not suffice, I'll be bound to pay 10 times more and forfeit of my hands, my head, my heart. And if this will not suffice, it must appear that malice bears down truth. And I beseech you, wrest once the law into your authority to do a great right, to do a little wrong, and curb this cruel devil of his will.
It must not be. There is no power in Venice can alter a decree established. 'Twill be recorded as a precedent, and many an error by the same example will rush into the state. It cannot be.
A Daniel come to judgment. Yea, a Daniel, O wise young judge, how I do honor thee.
I pray you let me look upon the bond.
It is most reverend doctrine.
Shylock, there's thrice thy money offered thee.
An oath. An oath. I have an oath in heaven. Shall I lay perjury upon my soul? No, not from Venice.
By this bond is forfeit, and lawfully by this the Jew may claim a pound of flesh to be by him cut off, nearest the merchant's heart.
Oh, noble judge, oh, excellent young man.
Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
When it is paid according to the tenor, it doth appear you are a worthy judge. You know the law. Your exposition hath been most sound. I charge you, by the law, whereof you are a well-deserving pillar, proceed to judgment. By my soul I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me. I stay here on my bond.
Most heartily I do beseech the court to give the judgment.
Why then thus it is. For the intent and purpose of the law hath full relation to the penalty which here appeareth due upon the bond.
It's very true, O wise and upright judge. How much more elder art thou than thy looks?
You must prepare your bosom for his knife.
His breast, so says the bond, doth it not, a noble judge. Nearest his heart, those are the very words.
It is so. Are there balance here to weigh the flesh?
I have them ready.
Have by some surgeon, Shylock, on your charge to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death.
It's so nominated in the bond.
It is not so expressed, but what of that? 'Twere good you do so much for charity.
Cannot find it.
Oh, good.
'Tis not in the bond!
You, merchant, have you anything to say?
But little. I am armed and well prepared. Give me your hand, Bassanio. Very well. Oh, now grieve not that I am fallen to this for you. For herein fortune shows herself more kind than is her custom. It is still her use to let the wretched man outlive his wealth, to view with hollow eye and wrinkled brow an age of poverty, from which lingering penance of such misery doth she cut me off. No, repent but you that you shall lose your friend. And he repents not that he pays your debt. For if the Jew do cut but deep enough, I'll pay it instantly, with all my heart. Commend me to your honourable wife. Tell her the process of Antonio's end. Say how I loved you. Speak me fair in death. When the tale is told, bid her be judge whether Bassanio had not once the love.
Antonio, I am married to a wife which is as dear to me as life itself. But life itself, my wife and all the world are not with me esteemed above by life. I would lose all, I sacrifice them all here to this devil to deliver you.
Your wife would give you little thanks for that if she were by to hear you make the offer.
I have a wife whom I protest I love. I would she were in heaven that she might entreat some power to change this currish Jew.
'Tis well you offer it behind her back. The wish would make else an unquiet house.
These be the Christian husbands. I have a daughter. Would any of the stock of Barabbas have been a husband rather than a Christian? We trifle time. I pray thee, pursue sentence.
A pound of this same merchant's flesh is thine. The court awards it, and the law doth give it.
Most noble judge.
And you must cut this flesh from off his breast. The law allows it, and the court awards it.
Most learned judge, a sentence? Come, prepare.
Tarry a little. There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond. Take thou thy pound of flesh. But in the cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are by the laws of Venice confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Oh, upright judge, marked you a learned judge.
Is that the law?
Thyself shalt see the act. For as thou urgest justice, be assured thou shalt have justice more than thou desirest.
A learned judge, marked you a learned judge.
I take this offer then, pay the bond thrice and let the Christian go.
Here is the money.
Soft, the Jew shall have all justice. Soft, no haste. He shall have nothing but the penalty.
Oh, Jew, an upright judge, a learned judge.
Therefore prepare thee to cut off the flesh. Shed thou no blood, nor cut thou less nor more, but just a pound of flesh. If thou takest more or less than a just pound, be it but so much as makes it light or heavy in the substance, or the division of the 20th part of one poor scruple, nay, if the scale do turn but in the estimation of a hair, thou diest and all thy goods are confiscated.
A second Daniel, a Daniel Jew. Now, infidel, I have you on the hip.
Why doth the Jew pause? Take thy forfeiture.
Give me my principal and let me go.
I have it ready, Father. Here it is.
He hath refused it in the open court. He shall have merely justice and his bond.
A Daniel, still say I. A second Daniel. I thank thee, Jew, for teaching me that word.
Shall I not have barely my principal?
Thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture, to be so taken at thy peril, Jew.
Then the devil give him good if it does. Stay no longer question.
Tarry, Jew. The law hath yet another hold on you. It is enacted in the laws of Venice, if it be proved against an alien, that by direct or indirect attempt he seek the life of any citizen, the party against the which he doth contrive shall seize one half his goods. The other half comes to the privy coffer of the state, and the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only, gainst all other voice. In which predicament I say thou standst, for it appears by manifest proceeding that indirectly and directly too thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant, and thou hast incurred the danger formerly by me rehearsed. Down therefore, and beg mercy of the Duke.
Beg that thou mayst have leave to hang thyself, and yet thy wealth being forfeit to the state, thou hast not left the value of a cord. Therefore thou must be hanged at the state's charge.
That thou shalt see the difference of our spirit. I pardon thee thy life before thou ask it. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. The other half comes to the general state, which humbleness may drive into a fine.
I, for the state, not for Antonio.
Nay, take my life and all. Pardon not that. You take my house if you do take the prop that doth sustain my house. You take my life if you do take the means whereby I live.
What mercy can you render him, Antonio?
The halter gratis, nothing else, for God's sake.
So please my lord the Duke and all the court, to quit the fine for one half of his goods I am content, so he will let me have the other half in use to render it upon his death unto the gentleman that lately stole his daughter. 2 things provided more, that for this favour he presently become a Christian. The other, that he do record a gift here in this court of all he dies possessed, unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter.
He shall do this, or else I do recant the pardon that I late pronounced here.
Art thou contented, Jew? What dost thou say?
I'm content.
Clerk, draw deed of gift.
I pray you, give me leave to part from hence. I'm not well. Send the deed after me, and I will sign it.
Get thee gone, but do it.
In christening shalt thou have 2 godfathers. Had I been judge, thou shouldst have had 10 more to bring thee to the gallows. Not the font.